Okay, so now we need to get started on the app.js, or our JavaScript file that we would link to the index, or that we already did. And first thing we're going to do is kind of what Sterling always does. Just for good housekeeping, clearly don't write the same thing that I do, but we want to kind of write out what we're doing as we do it in the comments. So you'll see me just write this out real quick. Okay, so first we're going to create an array to hold the buttons. So this is where jQuery comes in. Hashtag, that's not a hashtag. That's not an iPhone. Document, ready. It means when the page loads. Function as a parameter. No arguments for the function. Then I went down here and did var foods. Let foods. Do not do var. Let foods equals, going to make an array of wood. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Cheese. Damn it. I hate writing arrays where you've got a quotations and then a comma in between each one. Milk, eggs, bacon, cereal. And then obviously you just close it up and semicolon, whatever. And now we're going to do a function to make the buttons and add them to the page as it is clicked. And all of this kind of interacts with one another. So it's hard to pinpoint everything from, like this does this does this, because everything's dependent on one another, obviously, as within any dynamic web page. So kind of just follow along here, even if it might not make sense at first. Can't type. To page, boy. Okay, function, populate buttons, array to use, class to add, area to add to. This sounds super generic, and believe me, it is. Okay, open brackets. I'm going to do jQuery call area to add to. It's going to automatically pop up because fucking technology. We're going to empty it out upon page load. I'm pretty sure, at least. Actually, no, we empty it because each time that we add one, it's going to clear out the array of buttons and then repopulate it with the new one. That way we don't have doubles. I'm going to do empty. Hold on about 3 minutes. We're going to do a little for loop here. So for let's, got to get in the habit of that. I equals 0. I is less than array to use dot length, and then increment I with the plus plus operator. We're going to open our brackets like that. Let a, got to get in the habit of that because my other file I used var in some places, equals, you can't fall for those tricks when Sterling's like, who still uses var? And then I raise my hand and he's like, eat shit. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. We got button. So remember, we're doing let a equals jQuery call parentheses. There's so many little random punctuations you would never normally use. Dollar sign, parentheses, quotations, caret. I'm just going to call it a caret because everyone else does. Then we got to end the caret before we quotations again, close it up with a parentheses and semicolon. Literally more punctuation than you need in a book, but whatever. Then we're going to do a dot, so we didn't end that a, right? Add class. And then we're going to do class to add, which populates automatically. And then a dot attribute. This just assigns an attribute to, probably not going to be using this ever again, but I could be wrong. Data type, array to use, and then array to use is actually an array, clearly. So, we're going to increment it with, we're going to go into the elements of the array with I. Then a dot text. Array to use I. Then we're going to do this little jQuery call, area to add to, dot append a. Nope, not underscore a. Okay, so really quick, just to recap, we've got, how much time we've got left? 4 minutes. Let I, array to use, length. Okay, so let's clean this up a little bit to make it look a little better. Let a equals button, jQuery called a button. A.add class, class to add, which is passed in by this. Populate buttons. Why does it look grayed out? Oh, because it's not used. A attribute data type, array to use I. A.text equals array to use I. This assigns the text to the button. Then simply jQuery call area to add to, append this button. Okay. Now, actually, we're done with the for loop and with the function populate button. So we need to move down here. Don't have to put that many spaces, but I like to keep things oddly spaced out. Now we're going to create a function that will populate the images from the Giphy API. Then we're going to do jQuery call document on click. Gotta love those on click functions. Parentheses, comma, then dot food button to refer to the food button. I think it's class. Let's check. Food button. Food button. Food button. Let's see. Food button. Let me check something really quick. I'm sorry. I guess it's food buttons, but over here it is food button. I guess we'll get to that later. I can't really remember everything that goes along with. Okay, never mind. It is food button, not buttons. I think I messed up with this my first time through. Food button, comma, function, open, close. Then we're going to open a bracket here. jQuery call to a lot of jQuery. This is why this one takes so painfully long. Hashtag images. Images, yep. Parentheses, or actually quotations, parentheses, dot empty. Open, close parentheses, because we got to call that. That empties it out. I'm actually going to stop here and pick back up on the next one.